They say I have mental health problems now. I don't, I'm just poor.
Late at night, Queen Elizabeth was startled awake, and ended up speaking with a stranger for over 10 minutes. The chain of events began with Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's new economic policies. Countless workers were laid off, forced to survive by lining up for welfare checks. Meanwhile, in sharp contrast, the upper class still queued in their finest clothes, just to shake the Queen's hand. Fagin was one of the forgotten. Once a house painter, he had a family, a semblance of happiness, but after losing his job, his wife left with the children, leaving him alone, drifting aimlessly, scraping by on welfare. Every time he collected his check, he was asked, "Worked in the last 2 weeks?" His replies were always half-hearted, evasive. At home, the TV showed workers marching in protest, while the radio blared Thatcher's speeches. The irony was unbearable. Boiling with anger, Fagin went to a member of parliament to complain. "People are suffering, why spend £3 billion on the Falklands War?" The MP sneered, "If you've got a problem, tell it to the Queen, and stop whining here." His request for a housing renovation was soon denied. The final straw, passing Buckingham Palace, he made a reckless choice. He scaled the fence, climbed up a drainpipe to the second floor, wandered through opulent halls, even sat in the Queen's throne, muttering to himself, "Not bad at all." Thirsty, he sipped some wine, accidentally broke a vase. He finally found the Queen's bedroom, but she wasn't there. Almost caught, he barely escaped. The next morning, Ade Martin reported the break-in, suggesting the Prime Minister be informed, but Elizabeth stopped him. Thatcher had already urged her to increase palace security, which she had brushed aside. If word got out, what humiliation would follow? Best to bury it. Later, Fagin crossed paths with his wife and children. He watched his kids clinging to her new partner, his heart twisting. When he tried to confront them, he was beaten down instead, and stripped of visitation rights. On TV, Britain celebrated victory in the Falklands. The streets erupted with cheers, yet Fagin stood apart, an outcast in his own country. In despair, he resolved to return to Buckingham Palace. At dawn, during the guard shift change, he smashed a window and slipped inside. This time, he drew back the curtains of the Queen's bedroom. Elizabeth froze in shock. Seeing he meant no harm, she slowly calmed. Fagin poured out the sorrows of the working class, begging for relief, but the Queen only sighed.
"But there's nothing I personally can do about it."
She even questioned his sanity. It became clear the hardest illness to cure was not madness, but poverty. After shaking the Queen's hand, Fagin was taken away by security. The incident made national headlines. Elizabeth, unusually, voiced her opinion to the Prime Minister. Yet nothing changed. The Falklands victory swelled Thatcher's confidence. She inspected the troops herself, a display that quietly underscored the waning power of the monarchy. And Fagin, a small man swept away by history's tide, was committed to a mental institution. They all said he was mad, but deep down, everyone knew he wasn't.